Hello, Del Shakes fam. My name is Cassie Alexander. This is Newton Buchanan.
I'm Newton Buchanan. How are you?
We are live. It is 5 p.m. and Do More 24 has one more hour to go. Yay!
Hooray! What do you have there, Cassie?
Oh, I have some red wine. What about you, my friend?
I've got a T&T. It's a tequila and tonic, and it's just wonderful.
Excellent. Well, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
And Del Shakes is celebrating a little bit extra right now. We just exceeded our stretch goal for Do More 24. We initially had a goal of $2,000. We raised it last night because we had so much love coming from our community, and we just hit 3,000. Huzzah.
Huzzah! We did it.
Yay.
Nice. Yeah.
We're so happy to be in this giving community, and there is still 1 hour to go. We are hoping to rustle up a few more donations, and we're asking folks to give because Del Shakes is all about sharing stories, and specifically about sharing stories that bring people together. So I invited Newt to be on call with me tonight.
Hello.
And to share your favorite story about a moment of connection when you were performing in front of an audience in Delaware. I think you have a good one.
I think so, yeah. So with the community tour, did a production of Romeo and Juliet where I played a number of parts. One was Lord Capulet, which is Juliet's dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had the opportunity, or the pleasure, I should say, to play the apothecary, which is a character in Romeo and Juliet that gives a poison to Romeo so that he can finish himself off because he's depressed about Juliet's death, which she's not really dead, but you get what I'm saying. So he meets this, right. So he meets this.
Romeo's trying to tell him. He never gets the message.
He never gets the message. There's like a message supposed to come from another friar. It never happens because there's sickness. A lot of things are happening there. Shakespeare was grinding the gears to make that happen, but it happens. But so he meets this apothecary, and he's usually, it's like one scene that this character's in, and he's kind of like he sometimes gets thrown out of a lot of productions of Romeo and Juliet. And the apothecary's always been one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And mostly because there's so much room with the character to turn it into anything and whatever you want. And so, as I am one to do, I took some liberties and.
Okay. It started off as an inch, and then it became many miles of liberties.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Lindsay Smiling, who was directing that production, he told me, he was like, yeah, whatever you think is right. And so Lindsay has never directed me before and doesn't know that is carte blanche for me. So I
regretted that direction.
Yeah. So I made this character, turns it into something extravagant and a little bit more meat there. And what was nice about it, though, was that in that moment in the play, I think it gave the audience a little release at that moment. I turned it into something kind of funny.
Quite funny. It was really comedic. I remember watching backstage, you were always tapping everything.
That's right. Yeah.
We had a nickname for you. Do you remember our nickname for you as the apothecary?
As the character's name is the apothecary, and I got named the Pocket Fairy. As that.
You were a pocket, like whatever your image of a pocket fairy is, that's what you were in that moment.
Yeah. Whatever you thinking is a pocket fairy out there, that's exactly
embodied by Newton Buchanan in that.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
The audience just loved it. At the end of this tragedy, when we all know that tears are coming, because that's how R&J is set up, right? At the very beginning, we know it won't end well.
Yeah.
And the audience has been through a lot. They've watched a lot of characters they love die. The Romeo and Juliet have been separated, and here you come on and give us all a reason to laugh.
Yeah. in a moment where we shouldn't be laughing. We shouldn't necessarily be thinking that this is the place to laugh, but the laugh comes and you still feel like it's part of it. And that's the part that, you know, even though I took miles when I was given an inch, there's still, you know, some discernment about making sure that we're telling the right story and that kind of thing going through. But I just remember doing it a few times, and there was just a ladder that I climbed up on because it was like almost like I was like opening up my window and peeking out and kind of doing a little thing. And so there would sometimes be the audience would be just below me, you know, and they wouldn't see me come in, and there was always kind of a reaction. And I thought that was really, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed kind of having a moment in that play in particular to drop in a little levity, to drop in a little eccentric character, to give the audience a little extra something to feel and to think about at that moment.
Absolutely. Well, and the time they had just seen you, you were yelling a lot. Everyone was flinching. So it was nice to have that moment before we get back to that flinching place. Right.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is that I think one of the reasons why I took a mile or 10,000 miles when I was given an inch is I wanted to make sure that that character was different than the other character I was playing in the show. So yeah, some bold choices.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I played Benvolio in that performance, and the lovely Ty Verley was the nurse, and we were always counting however many taps you did. And then we'd come back to you and say, like, oh, it was 3 more than yesterday.
3 more than yesterday, yeah. So it's like a vial of poison, and I would be telling Romeo about it, but as I'm telling him, I would tap it as kind of a warning, like this is not to be trifled with.
Remember how many taps were the longest, the most taps? I can't recall.
I can't remember either. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, and then I remember one performance. There's a, I think at the end of the play, I can't remember. Everyone started coming up to me and kind of tapping me, all the actors tapping me on the shoulder. And I was like, what's happening? And everyone was taking turns.
The last show, we all tapped you back.
You all tapped me back. Yeah, it was fun.
I got you really good as Paris early on. I forget what I was tapping. Maybe The Invitation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm playing Capulet and Cassie's playing Paris. And we're talking about, you know, I want you to marry my daughter. And he's like, I want to come to this party kind of thing. And Cassie kind of takes the invitation and she goes, this invitation right here? And I almost, it was very good.
So cute. It was close.
It was almost, yeah, it's close. Yeah. But it was very fun.
Oh, that's so fun.
Good.
Newton, tell me about another way that you love sharing stories with folks that are connected to Del Shakes, maybe not in our community tour.
Yeah, so I also work with Del Shakes doing work, classes and workshops and programs in the juvenile justice system in Delaware, and that's some of the most rewarding work I've done in my entire life. Just being able to go into a space and chat with these young human beings. And bring to them Shakespeare. And a lot of them ask, like, what is this? Why Shakespeare? How is this helpful to me in my situation now and where I am? As you can imagine, they're in a stressful situation sometimes. And so, and I love being able to take something from them and then finding either a scene or a moment or a line that's in Shakespeare that directly correlates with an experience or an emotion or feeling that they've had. And when that connection is made in the classroom, it's magic and it's electric and they feel it too. And it's really nice to be able to show them that, words on a piece of paper can hold so much magic and also can mean a lot to us, even though we don't think they do, which I think is really awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And to have kind of a visceral heart connection with a character that was written 400 years ago is really powerful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thanks
Yeah.
for your story.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you to Del Shakes, and thank you to everyone at the facilities that we go to, who receives us when we come in. It's a really great opportunity, and I'm grateful to be able to be a part of it.
We're so glad that you're able to teach for us, and we are hoping now that the vaccines are being distributed that we'll be able to get back to doing that work a little bit for everyone's safety. We've been on pause, but we look forward to pushing play.
Yes. That's the hope. We hope so. We hope so. I'll drink to that, actually.
Cheers to that. Clink.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Del Shakes fans, for tuning in. Remember, we now have 50 minutes, give or take, left with Do More 24. And Newton and I are just here to encourage you to throw some money towards Del Shakes, because it's have a really big impact in the work we do in the community where we tell stories.
Yeah, and any little bit helps. You hear that a lot during fundraising, but it really does. Any little bit helps. A ticket to our summer festival is $22.
Yeah.
If 4 people are able to donate $5 each, that's $20, and I will match $2 to make that ticket a full ticket. So.
Beautiful. So any spare change you have, throw it our way, and Newton will chip in too.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, friends. Thank you, Newton. Have a wonderful weekend, and cheers to doing more in 2021.
Cheers, everybody. Clink, clink, clink.